ChefD TV. We're going to do a root beer glazed pork tenderloin. We're going to do a mushroom soup. So let's get started. So with your pork tenderloins, you're always going to get a little bit of shiny side on it. And that's just some skin, but you want to take it off because it's not tender at all. So you just grab your carving knife and you're just going to slip it underneath and run it along the pork, and it's going to take a little bit of the first layer off, and then we're going to go a little bit deeper the next time, and we're just going to take the last little layer off. And remember, you're always cutting away from yourself and then just finishing up. Always the big pieces you cut away so that you don't cut into you. So now I'm going to cut it into pieces, and we're going to put our pork tenderloin in our Ziploc bag. Now I've already cut up some chives. It doesn't have to be anything special, just probably about a 1/4 inch. And the great thing about chives, and everybody knows this, is that they're a combination of both garlic and onion, and they just add so much great flavor to it. When you roast it, the nuttiness of the garlic comes out, and not all that really pungent flavor that overpowers everything. You don't have to do a lot to it. You peel off the first layer of your bulb of garlic, and then you put it in the oven 45 minutes at 350, and you have some beautiful roasted garlic. This is actually going to enhance the flavor of the pork tenderloin. Just break it off, skin and all. Now we're going to take a whole can of A&W root beer. It could be any kind of root beer, whatever's your favorite. I prefer A&W. Then a little bit of minced ginger. About a cup of beef stock, and then the final is just a little bit of red wine, and that's just going to add a little bit of richness to the dish. We're going to add about 1/2 cup of red wine, maybe a little bit more, and then we're just going to seal it up and just leave it like this for between 2 and 12 hours. In the refrigerator it goes. So now we're going to be making some mushroom soup. We got some beautiful portobello mushrooms here. And with the portobellos, you just want to take a spoon and you want to slowly just get all the dark out of it so that it doesn't make your soup go black. And the great thing about mushrooms is there's so many different flavors now. We have oysters, portobellos, shiitakes, you can do dried mushrooms. So choose the mushrooms that you like. In the recipe I'll say 3 of your favorite mushrooms, you pick, it's up to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut up about 5 onions, just a rough chop, because we're going to puree this. And just like you roasted the garlic before for the root beer, we're going to use it again into our soup. I'm going to add 1 clove of just regular garlic, and we're going to add about 5 cloves of roasted garlic. Now we're going to add a little bit of fresh lavender. Lavender is one of the biggest crops that they're actually growing now down in the Leamington area, and it's so great because the flavor and the smell and the bouquet is amazing. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add our mushrooms. This is a really simple recipe. Some more mushrooms. And the portobellos we're just going to cut in half. And as it steams down, the mushrooms are almost all liquid anyways, and they'll just steam out nicely and soften. Now we're just going to add a little bit of pepper. I know we're all busy and sometimes you can't always, make your own. If you don't have time, Campbell's, and there's some great organic stocks out there as we speak. You want to look for the reduced salt because you don't want any with monosodium glutamate in it. And if you like, and if you want to dress it up some more and tailor to your own, you could add 2 cups of white wine to this, a Chardonnay, something big that's going to add some more flavor to it. And the last little bit is just a little bit of cumin. And the last thing I'm going to add is just a couple of the fresh thyme leaves. And it'll match up really well with the lavender. Away we go. We're going to put it on the stove. We're going to bring it up to a boil. When it comes up to boil, we're going to put a lid on it and put it down to medium so it simmers for about 2 hours. So now we're just going to puree our soup. Now what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of cream to this. And we're only going to add maybe about 1/2 cup to it. It's just going to add that little bit of finishing to it. This is really hot. If you add milk to it right now, it's going to curdle on you and look like scrambled eggs, and we don't want that. So we just puree it 1 more second. We're going to try it now just to make sure that we don't need to add anything else. Wow, we have a perfect soup here. And the great thing about this soup is you can make it like 1-2 days in advance. You can put a little bit of cream cheese in here and let it melt and puree it in. Absolutely gorgeous. So we've let the tenderloin marinate for about 4.5 hours now, and all those great juices are just slowly penetrating the meat. And now I have my pan on a medium-high element. It's going to be piping hot. It's going to sear right away. We're going to sear each side of the pork tenderloin. Now just about 30 seconds on each side just to brown it. And the great thing about it, as the root beer comes out, it caramelizes and gets that sugar going, and you have this great aroma in your kitchen. And what we're going to do is we're going to change pans and put the pork in a different pan, put it right in the oven. Of course I'm using the green pans right now, and they're great because they can go right from stovetop right into the oven, and it can be a really hot oven. They're good for up to about 800 degrees. I'm going to take all my sauce and just slowly put it in. As the meat's marinating and all the proteins are coming together, you're going to get this white film, and you don't want that in your sauce. So what you can do is take a spoon and just slowly take it off the top of your sauce. And as you can see, there's this great sauce underneath it. Now I'm going to turn it down because you don't want it to boil over. You just want it to reduce. We're going to let it reduce probably for the next 5 minutes. So that's almost like a syrup that's going to be on top of the pork. So I'm going to grab our pork out of the oven. Always just leave your cloth on the handle so you know that you're not going to touch it because it's really hot. Now what I've done is I've made some goat cheese mashed potatoes. Don't forget that you can find this recipe and many more on the recipe section on the website. And then I'm just going to grab some tomatoes and just a quick garnish. It's going to add some great color to the plate. Grab some of our pork and just cut out a bias. Look, and some beautiful, nice pink color to it. Then grab our sauce. And as you can see, it's just become this beautiful syrup. And don't forget, you eat with your eyes, so you want everything to be really pretty and tempting. Now, I use potatoes here, but you could use risotto, you could make a potato Anna, you could use some sweet potato mashed potatoes on this. It's what you enjoy, it's what you like. Here's to great eating. This is Chef Daryl for ChefD TV. Remember, you're worth it.